Oh boy, so we had a whole bunch of stuff go on yesterday. 5 trades, whole bunch of rumors as to who's going to be available in the expansion draft and all that. I think we'll probably make another video talking about notable names because I think that stuff is going to be published when I'm awake, so we can go ahead and make another video about that. But yeah, we had ourselves a whole bunch of crap yesterday. Trades, news, rumors, and all that, but some other stuff that came out yesterday as well that I wanted to highlight here was apparently stuff that did not happen, but almost did. I mean, according to some sources, it almost happened, but at the end of the day, it might have been one team or another that said no. But just the mere existence of this idea, man, it's kind of mind-boggling to me here. So let's go over onto David Shapiro's Twitter account. He's the guy who owns Blue Seats Live, does stuff for the Rangers, and he is somewhat of a beat reporter in that environment. He tweeted this yesterday in the midst of all the trade stuff and the Carey Price rumors and all that. This was out there in the middle of that time frame. The trade that did not go down, which was rumored, was Pavel Buchnevich for Bo Horvat. 1-for-1. Hashtag New York Rangers. Hashtag Canucks. And this tweet was posted, got 800 likes, 200 quote retweets, and a whole bunch of people going out there saying, what the hell? Are you kidding me? Huh? What? Pavel Buchnevich for Bo Horvat was a trade that was in the realm of possibility? What in the world? Okay, you know what, I'm going to take away my biased Canucks fandom and try to assess this trade fairly. And, you know, just go over the idea, because at the end of the day, you know, it didn't happen. It's not a trade that was eventually set into stone. Nobody made it real or anything. It's fairy dust, it's fugazi, it's not frickin' real. Yeah, I love The Wolf of Wall Street, if you can't already tell. But Bo Horvat for Pavel Buchnevich is a strange kind of trade. Pavel Buchnevich is a 26-year-old guy, 1995, April 17th birthday, a winger, 6'1", 196 pounds, drafted in 2013 in the 3rd round. He also needs a contract. So, yeah. Bo Horvat, on the other hand, also a 2013 draft pick. This time, instead of the 3rd round, he's 9th overall. 6 feet tall, 216 pounds, center, left-handed player. He's got a contract till 2023, $5.5 million AAV. Now, Bo Horvat has been on a trajectory that has been so good the past, 5-6 years, it's honestly kind of crazy taking a look at where he has gone. I still remember when Bo Horvat scored his very first NHL goal, assisted by, Derek Dorsett or whatever it was, against the Anaheim Ducks as it was cross-creased in the middle. Was it Dorsett or was it Zach Cassian? I completely forgot. But either or, Bo Horvat, year after year, has made significant improvements in terms of goal production, point production, and responsibility and leadership. All this stuff, Horvat has just been building and building and building year after year after year. He's been getting better every year, and he's gotten a contract that has locked him up for the next 2 seasons at 5.5. This is a guy who is at 10 goals in 17 games in the playoffs. He was fantastic. We've always kind of known, ever since we saw that rookie season Bo Horvat come out here against the Calgary Flames in that 1st round series in 2015, that there was some kind of elevation that Bo Horvat would exhibit in the playoffs. There were some shifts back in 2015 when he would take the puck, just go end-to-end with it casually. I know a lot of people don't like it when I say this, but people were like, yeah, that's like Pavel Bure, bro. This is Pavel Bure. He does that too. My goodness, Bo Horvat, he's 19 years old. He's doing this crap. How crazy is that? And he displayed it in 2020, the bubble, that gear, you know, that extra shift upwards, it still does exist. Fantastic producer in the postseason. And I mean, he had 30-something points in 50-something games this year, but the Canucks were absolutely terrible. And it shouldn't really be a reflection on one guy as to whether or not he does what he does in one season on a team as bad as the 2021 Canucks. Furthermore, he is the captain of the team, so he is a very important piece, not to mention the fact that they acquired him in the Corey Schneider trade all those years ago. Pavel Buchnevich, on the other hand, is always a guy that I've had my eye on, and I have been interested in ever since. In 2013, he was playing in the MHL as a point-per-game guy, and he had some limited sample size in the KHL too. He played a whole bunch of games, didn't really get too many points, but hey, who cares? You're a teenager playing in the KHL, you're not going to get that many points. It's just how it goes. He also was fantastic fantastic for Team Russia at the U18s that year, suiting things up and getting 11 points in 7 games played as one of the top guys on that Russian squad. In fact, he was tied for second in points behind Connor McDavid that year, so yeah, really good. He was underage too, that Connor McDavid, when he did that, so fantastic for him. But as time grew on, in the KHL, Buchnevich just became better and better and better, eventually getting upwards to 30 points in 48 games before getting traded away the next season and doing pretty okay with his new team SKA St. Petersburg in 2016. Now you might note, okay, he had 3 points in 14 games in 2016 in the KHL playoffs, but come on, you're playing for SKA St. Petersburg. That team is one of the most stacked hockey teams, proportionally speaking, comparative to the rest of their leagues in, like, the world, you know? It's SKA St. Petersburg, so if anybody's going out there not getting any playing time or not getting any points, I'm not gonna judge. Eventually making the NHL, though, 20 points, 41 games played, not a bad rookie season, you know? A guy coming into the NHL as, what, a 21-year-old and being at half a point a game? Pretty solid, especially considering that all his development was done overseas. Eventually, he became more comfortable with the Rangers, 43 points in 74 games in 2017-18, eventually getting upwards to 48 points in 54 games this year, 20 goals on the year in 54 games as well. A career high in points per game, points in general, and goals per game. Very good progression here for Buchnevich as well. However, even though I've noted how good he is, I remember having Buchnevich on, like, my fantasy team as one of the sleeper picks earlier on in his career, and he did a lot of good things for my fantasy team. If you're taking a look at the idea of a Horvat for Buchnevich trade just 1-for-1, I think it's a lot easier to make a pitch that says that Horvat would be more valuable. Would it not? Because, I mean, Horvat has had the same progression as Buchnevich has. He made the NHL younger than Buchnevich did. He is a captain, for crying out loud. And I think it mostly lies with the intangibles and the center position itself that puts Horvat over Buchnevich in my books. Because, you know, for the New York Rangers, I mean, they want a center, right? We know they want a center, preferably a young one. Bo Horvat's 25, 26 years old. He's a young guy. And Buchnevich is in that same range, literally, because they're born in the same year and they were drafted in the same draft. But if you take a look at where things lie out positionally, hey man, centers are more valuable than wingers. That's just it, plain, simple, hard truth about it. And for the Vancouver Canucks in particular, I think it was Cam Robinson who said it best, like, they had 2 centers at the start of the day. So it's very difficult to even think about the idea of them trading one of them for another winger. Now, granted, the Canucks acquired another center yesterday in Jason Dickinson, but just because you acquire Dickinson doesn't mean you're going to go out there and trade Horvat for Buchnevich, now isn't it? Now, to Shapiro's credit, even though a lot of people were going out there criticizing him for talking about how this apparently happened, a trade that did not go down but was rumored, it says here in the reply, "Sigh, obviously Vancouver said no. Why are people flipping out over a random trade that did not happen?" And I think it's just the mere acknowledgement of this kind of idea, you know? The way Shapiro was phrasing it makes it seem like it was the Rangers going out there and telling the Vancouver Canucks, hey, you know, you want Buchnevich? We want Horvat. You can get Buchnevich if you want, but we really want that Horvat guy. And Vancouver was just like, no. I mean, look at the tweet. Obviously Vancouver said no. It's obvious, making it seem to me like this is just, if it were true, by the way, just the Rangers going out there making calls and being like, hey, you've got a good center. We want him. Here's Buchnevich. Hey, Sebastian Aho's a pretty good player. We like him. You want Buchnevich for him? Here you go. Nathan McKinnon, man, he's our guy. You want Pavel Buchnevich? Here, take this. I think with the way that all these tweets are phrased, it's kind of in that territory where it might have just been New York asking around about random guys in the league, and one of the names that eventually might have gotten leaked out was Bo Horvat. So whether or not Shapiro is right or wrong here or whatever, I'm not going to go out there and discredit his credibility because he has his sources and he wouldn't be tweeting this without intent. There is still a conversation that says, you know what, at the end of the day, the Vancouver Canucks were probably in the right to saying no. At least in my opinion. I'm sure there are probably going to be a few Rangers fans going out there saying, man, why would you say no to that? Buchnevich is fantastic. Bo Horvat sucks. He's a plug, man. And, you know, I'm just kind of throwing ideas around in the brain, I guess. But you know what? This entire thing over here of the Buchnevich-Horvat deal was so crazy. And it got a lot of people really upset, mostly because we had a lot of other bigger pieces of news going down that everybody's brains in acknowledging hockey news in the hockey world, it was just kind of all in panic mode at the time the tweet was posted, so it's understandable to me why the reaction to this sentiment was so brash, I guess. So either way, I decided to make a video about it because, hey, cool conversation topics, right? It's definitely not a boring thing to talk about now, isn't it? So talk to me in the comments what you think about this idea over here. Bo Horvat for Buchnevich. The Canucks, in my opinion, would not trade their captain, who is a center, for a winger in similar status in terms of progression, development, and point production, because that just wouldn't really be all too good of a fit, you know, in my opinion. Talk to me in the comments what you think. I hope you enjoyed. This was Josh Rolls 99. And bye.